Our planet, in its quiet, relentless way, brings to life phenomena that hardly seem real, events so extraordinary they challenge our very understanding of the world. Some of these marvels remain isolated, hidden away in nearly unexplored territories, their secrets guarded by distance and the raw power of the wild. Many appear as if they have sprung forth from magical, fantastical worlds, creating landscapes that one might imagine on alien planets, far removed from our own familiar Earth. They are spectacles of immense beauty, of profound mystery, and sometimes of great power. Others are striking, even threatening in their grandeur, reminding us of the untamable forces that shape our world. Animals, too, play their part in these grand displays, their collective behaviors creating patterns and events of breathtaking complexity. These are not tales of fiction. They are the astonishing realities of our planet, captured for us to witness. Without the unblinking eye of the camera, many of these events would be dismissed as unbelievable, as mere legend or fanciful stories told around a fire. Today, I invite you to join me on a journey to explore some of Earth's most fascinating and bewildering natural phenomena. We will travel from the frozen plains of Kazakhstan to the fiery heart of a volcano, from the depths of the ocean to the skies above. Prepare to witness a world that is stranger, more beautiful, and more powerful than you could ever imagine. These are the stories that history, have seen unfold over millennia, now brought to light for all to see. In the vast frozen steppes of Kazakhstan, in the Almaty region, winter conjures a structure of impossible beauty. It is an ice volcano, a cone of frozen water that can reach heights of over 40 feet. This is not a volcano in the geological sense, with magma and fire, but rather a creation of intense cold and subterranean pressure. An underground spring, rich in minerals, forces water to the surface with considerable power. In the brutal Kazakh winter, where temperatures plummet far below freezing, this water freezes almost instantly upon contact with the frigid air. Layer by delicate layer, the ice accumulates, building a hollow cone around the spring's vent. What truly gives it the appearance of a volcano is the fine spray of water that erupts from its peak. This vapor, carried on the wind, resembles a plume of smoke, as if the icy mountain itself were breathing. It is a fleeting wonder, a testament to the creative power of water and cold, existing only for a few short months before the spring sun arrives to reclaim it, leaving no trace of its magnificent, temporary existence. In the highlands of Guatemala stands the Volcán de Fuego, the volcano of fire. It is one of the most active volcanoes in Central America, and it lives up to its name with near-constant, small-scale eruptions. But it is during its more powerful outbursts that a truly spectacular and terrifying phenomenon occurs. Volcanic lightning. As the volcano violently ejects a colossal plume of ash, gas, and rock fragments miles into the atmosphere, an incredible electrical storm is born within the cloud itself. This is not ordinary lightning descending from the heavens. The intense energy of the eruption causes the particles of ash and ice within the plume to collide frantically. This friction strips electrons from the particles, creating immense pockets of positive and negative charge. The universe abhors such an imbalance, and it seeks to correct it. The result is a dazzling, chaotic display of lightning that flashes and forks entirely within the roiling ash cloud. These are known as dirty thunderstorms, a breathtakingly beautiful yet deadly spectacle, painting the night sky with brilliant, jagged light against the dark, suffocating backdrop of the eruption. On the Indonesian island of Sumatra, Mount Sinabung serves as a stark reminder of the planet's formidable power. After centuries of dormancy, it reawakened, and with its awakening came one of the most dangerous phenomena in the natural world, the pyroclastic flow. This is not a slow-moving river of lava, but a terrifying, superheated avalanche of gas, ash, and rock fragments that races down the volcano's slopes at speeds that can exceed hundreds of miles per hour. It is a dense, ground-hugging cloud of destruction. The temperature within one of these flows can reach over 1,000 degrees Celsius, incinerating everything in its path instantaneously. It moves with a silent, horrifying speed, a gray torrent that smothers the landscape, burying entire villages and forests under a thick blanket of hot ash and pumice. Nothing can outrun it. Nothing can withstand its force. The pyroclastic flow is the ultimate expression of a volcano's fury, a force that both creates and destroys, reshaping the very land it travels across in a matter of terrifying moments. Mount Etna, the Grand Sentinel of Sicily, is a volcano of many moods and marvels. It is Europe's most active volcano, and honestly, it's a near-constant source of geological drama. Yet, amidst its fiery eruptions and lava flows, it occasionally produces a phenomenon of delicate and surprising grace: smoke rings. These are not the simple puffs one might imagine, but perfectly formed, ghostly white vortices that drift serenely into the sky. Known as volcanic vortex rings, they are a rare and beautiful sight, a moment of whimsy from a titan of fire and rock. Their formation requires a very specific set of circumstances: a circular vent, a calm atmosphere, and a rapid pulsing release of gas and steam from deep within the volcano's conduit. The gas, which is primarily water vapor, is shot out at high speed. The friction between the fast-moving gas column and the slower-moving air at the crater's rim causes the edges of the plume to curl back on themselves, creating a stable, rotating ring. These ethereal rings can maintain their shape for many minutes, traveling for miles before gently dissipating into the air, a fleeting signature of the immense and complex plumbing system that lies beneath. In a remote and desolate corner of Russia's Ural Mountains, on a high plateau known as Manpupu Nior, stand 7 colossal stone pillars. Ranging from 100 to nearly 140 feet tall, they rise from the earth like silent, weathered sentinels. Local legend speaks of them as 7 giant soldiers, petrified by a powerful shaman. The geological story, however, is one of immense time and the patient, relentless power of erosion. These formations are what geologists call buttes, or inselbergs. Around 200 million years ago, this entire area was a high mountain range. Over eons, wind, rain, snow, and ice worked tirelessly to wear the mountains down. The majority of the rock was softer and more easily eroded. But these 7 pillars are composed of a much harder, more resistant mix of quartzite and schist. While the surrounding landscape was scoured away and carried off, grain by grain, these resilient towers remained. They are the hard bones of an ancient mountain, a dramatic testament to the slow, sculpting hand of nature, standing in stark isolation against the vast, empty sky. High in the mountains of southwestern Turkey, near the ancient ruins of Olympos, a mountain burns. This is Yanartas, the burning rock, also known as Mount Chimera. For thousands of years, dozens of small fires have flickered continuously from vents in the rocky ground, a phenomenon that has captivated travelers since antiquity. These are not volcanic in origin, but are instead fueled by a steady, natural seepage of gases, primarily methane and other hydrocarbons, from deep within the earth. When this gas meets the oxygen in the air, it ignites, creating an eternal bonfire. These flames are thought to be the inspiration for the myth of the Chimera, a fearsome, fire-breathing creature with the head of a lion, the body of a goat, and the tail of a serpent. Ancient sailors would use the fires as a natural lighthouse to navigate the coastline. Even today, to sit amongst these flames as dusk falls is to feel a connection to a deep, mythological past. The flames dance and flicker, casting moving shadows on the ancient stones, a quiet, perpetual fire that links the modern world to the age of heroes and monsters. In a remote, flat, and arid lakebed in Death Valley, California, known as Racetrack Playa, a profound mystery has puzzled scientists for decades. Here, large rocks, some weighing hundreds of pounds, appear to move across the desert floor on their own, leaving long, shallow tracks in the dried mud behind them. For years, theories ranged from hurricane-force winds to magnetic fields, but the truth, when finally captured on camera, was a subtle and elegant conspiracy of ice, water, and wind. The phenomenon requires a rare convergence of conditions. First, a winter rain must fall, just enough to form a shallow pond on the playa floor. Then, a frigid night must freeze this water into a thin, expansive sheet of windowpane ice, strong enough to hold its form but thin enough to be broken. As the sun rises, it begins to melt the ice, causing it to break into large floating panels. A light, steady wind then blows across the playa, pushing these ice sheets, which in turn act like sails, slowly and deliberately shoving the rocks embedded within them across the slick, muddy surface, carving their mysterious trails. As dusk descends on a winter's evening, the sky can come alive with a spectacle of breathtaking coordination. A murmuration of starlings. It begins with a few birds, then hundreds, then thousands, and sometimes hundreds of thousands, moving as one. They form a single fluid entity, a swirling, shape-shifting cloud that expands, contracts, and twists in the air with mesmerizing grace. The flock seems to be guided by a single mind, creating intricate, ephemeral patterns against the fading light. This is not a dance for pleasure, but a vital strategy for survival. The sheer number of birds in a murmuration offers safety in numbers. For a predator, like a peregrine falcon, trying to single out one bird from the swirling mass is almost impossible. The constant, unpredictable movement confuses and deters attackers. Each starling is reacting almost instantaneously to the movements of its 7 closest neighbors, a simple rule that, when multiplied by thousands, creates this emergent behavior of stunning complexity. It is a living, breathing algorithm playing out in the sky. Underneath the busy streets of Budapest, Hungary, there's a secret and amazing world, the Molnár János Cave. This isn't a dry cave, it's a huge underwater maze, the biggest underwater hot spring cave system in all of Europe. For millions of years, warm water, full of minerals and heated by the earth deep inside, has slowly dissolved the rock, making a complex network of tunnels, rooms and chambers that go on for miles. For cave divers, exploring this system feels like flying through an alien cathedral. The water is super clear, and the walls are covered with beautiful formations of crystals. The temperature stays a steady, comfortable 70 to 82 degrees Fahrenheit all year long. This is a place where rocks and water come together, creating a quiet, underwater kingdom of incredible beauty. It's a delicate place, a hidden ecosystem that tells us about the history of the area's geology, a secret ocean flowing silently beneath a million people's feet. In the open ocean, waves are born from wind, but some grow to monstrous proportions. In the North Sea, the Dropner wave, recorded in 1995, was a rogue wave nearly 90 feet high that appeared from nowhere, confirming sailors' legends. These giants are thought to form when multiple smaller waves, traveling at different speeds and directions, fall into phase, their energies combining to create a single colossal wall of water. It's a rare and terrifying confluence of oceanic forces, a true monster of the deep. A different kind of giant is born at Nazaré, Portugal. Here, an underwater canyon, one of the deepest in Europe, funnels the immense power of Atlantic winter swells towards the shore. As the swell travels from the deep canyon to the shallow continental shelf, its energy is compressed vertically, jacking the water upwards to create the largest surfable waves on Earth, which can tower over 100 feet. It is the ultimate expression of the ocean's power, a place where the seafloor's topography shapes the surface into mountains of moving water, challenging the very few who dare to ride them. The deep ocean is a world of mysteries, and one of its most serene and strange spectacles is the sight of sleeping sperm whales. These leviathans, the largest toothed predators on Earth, do not sleep as we do. Instead, they enter a state of rest by hanging completely motionless and vertical in the water column, their heads pointing towards the surface. They look like a silent, submerged forest of ancient monoliths, drifting peacefully in the dark blue water. This behavior, only documented relatively recently, occurs in groups. The whales take short, synchronized naps lasting for about 15 to 20 minutes at a time. This vertical posture is thought to be a form of vigilance. By remaining upright, they can more easily ascend for air, and perhaps remain aware of their surroundings. They communicate with clicks and codas, and even in sleep, they seem to maintain a profound social connection. A community at rest in the vast, silent cathedral of the deep ocean, a moment of profound tranquility for these powerful giants. In the heart of Africa, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, lies Mount Nyiragongo, one of the most dangerous and awe-inspiring volcanoes on the planet. Its danger lies not only in its steep slopes and the fast-flowing nature of its lava, but in the spectacle at its summit, one of the world's largest and most persistent lava lakes. Inside its deep crater churns a vast, bubbling cauldron of molten rock, a direct window into the fiery heart of our planet. This lake of fire is formed by a continuous upwelling of magma from the Earth's mantle. The surface crusts over into dark basaltic plates, which are then torn apart and recycled back into the incandescent liquid below, creating mesmerizing, ever-changing patterns of black and fiery red. At night, the glow from the lava lake is so intense it can be seen for miles, painting the clouds above with an ominous, pulsating red light. It is a primal and terrifyingly beautiful sight, a permanent exhibition of the raw, creative power that built and continues to shape our world. In the northern latitudes, the arrival of spring can be a violent affair. As winter's grip loosens, vast frozen lakes and rivers begin to break apart. Under the force of strong winds and powerful water currents, immense sheets of ice are pushed towards the shore. This is not a gentle melting, but a slow-motion catastrophe known as an ice shove, or an ice tsunami. It is a relentless, unstoppable force of nature, a battering ram made of millions of tons of frozen water. The sound is a grinding, groaning roar as massive blocks of ice, some several feet thick, are driven up and over the shoreline. They pile up into formidable walls, scraping the earth, uprooting trees, and crushing everything in their path. Houses, docks, and roads built too close to the water's edge can be splintered and destroyed in a matter of hours. It is a powerful demonstration of the sheer kinetic energy stored in moving ice, a reminder that even in its retreat, winter can deliver one final destructive blow. Across the Great Plains of North America, the sky can become a stage for one of meteorology's most awesome and terrifying creations, the supercell. This is not an ordinary thunderstorm. It is a rare, highly organized, and self-sustaining storm system, characterized by a deep, continuously rotating updraft, known as a mesocyclone. This rotation allows the storm to persist for hours, traveling for hundreds of miles, and unleashing a devastating array of extreme weather. Visually, a supercell is a masterpiece of atmospheric architecture. It often has a distinct spaceship-like appearance, with a striated rotating cloud base and a flat anvil-like top that spreads out for miles. Within its core, the separation of updrafts and downdrafts allows it to grow to immense sizes and power, producing giant hail, torrential rain, and violent straight-line winds. It is the king of storms, a perfectly structured engine of destruction that sets the stage for nature's most violent whirlwind. From the heart of a rotating supercell, a truly terrifying phenomenon can descend, a tornado. As the storm's mesocyclone tightens and intensifies, it can lower a rotating column of air towards the ground. When this column makes contact, it becomes a tornado, a vortex of ferocious wind. But sometimes, under perfect conditions, a supercell can spawn something even more monstrous, a super tornado. These are the giants, the EF4 and EF5 tornadoes, with winds exceeding 200 miles per hour. These are not the slender funnels of popular imagination. A super tornado can be more than a mile wide, a churning, chaotic mass of cloud and debris that scours the earth. Its immense power can obliterate entire towns, tossing cars like toys and stripping pavement from roads. The sound is a deafening roar, often compared to a freight train, but 1,000 times louder. It is the most violent atmospheric event on the planet, a brutal and indiscriminate display of nature's raw, untamed power, leaving a scar on both the landscape and the lives it touches. Across the arid grasslands on the edge of the Namib Desert, the landscape is polka-dotted with a strange and mysterious pattern. These are the so-called fairy circles, millions of barren, circular patches of earth, each one edged with a ring of taller grass. From the air, they create this mesmerizing, almost perfectly spaced pattern that stretches for miles and miles. For decades, their origin has been the subject of intense scientific debate. It's a genuine ecological puzzle with, honestly, no easy answer. One leading theory suggests they're the work of a humble architect, the sand termite. It's proposed that colonies of termites live beneath the circles, eating the roots of the grasses and creating the barren patch. This allows rainwater to collect in the porous, sandy soil, which the termites need to survive the long, dry season. The taller ring of grass on the edge benefits from this subterranean reservoir, creating a self-organizing pattern of resource competition. It's a remarkable example of how tiny creatures can, well, engineer an entire landscape on a vast scale. Off the coast of Yemen, in the Indian Ocean, lies an island that seems to have been plucked from another world, or maybe even from a prehistoric past. This is Socotra. Isolated from mainland Africa for millions of years, its flora and fauna have evolved in unique and honestly, pretty bizarre ways, resulting in a landscape that is utterly alien. A third of its plant life is found nowhere else on Earth. It is a living laboratory of evolution, a true lost world. The most iconic inhabitant is the dragon's blood tree, an umbrella-shaped marvel that oozes a deep red resin, the dragon's blood of legend. There are also the strange bottle-shaped baobab trees that seem to have been planted upside down, and the desert rose with its swollen trunk. The island's unique biodiversity is a fragile treasure, a glimpse into what can happen when life is left to its own devices on an isolated stage. To walk through Socotra is to feel like an explorer on a different planet. In the grasslands of northern Australia, the landscape is punctuated by towering structures that could be mistaken for ancient, weathered statues. These are termite mounds, but, they are far more than simple piles of dirt. They are complex, self-regulating cities, built by millions of tiny insects working in concert. Some of these mounds can reach over 20 feet high and last for centuries, becoming enduring features of the landscape, passed down through generations of termites. The termites construct these fortresses using a mixture of soil, chewed wood, and their own saliva and feces, creating a material as hard as concrete. The structure is a marvel of engineering, designed to maintain a stable internal temperature and humidity, which is crucial for the colony's survival in the harsh Australian climate. Intricate networks of tunnels and vents allow for passive air circulation, a natural form of air conditioning. These mounds are not just homes, they are living, breathing superorganisms, a testament to the power of collective intelligence. When darkness falls on certain bays in Puerto Rico, the water itself comes alive with light. This is bioluminescence, a magical and ethereal phenomenon that transforms the ocean into a starry sky. Every splash, every movement of a paddle or a hand in the water ignites a ghostly blue-green glow. It is an experience that feels truly enchanted, almost like a dip into a liquid galaxy. The light is created not by magic, but by life. The glow comes from millions of microscopic, single-celled organisms called dinoflagellates. When disturbed, a chemical reaction inside them produces a flash of light, a defense mechanism intended to startle predators. In a few special bays, like Mosquito Bay on the island of Vieques, the concentration of these organisms is so incredibly high that the effect is breathtakingly bright. To swim or kayak here at night is to witness one of nature's most beautiful and delicate light shows, a silent, shimmering dance between movement and life. In the stark white wilderness of Antarctica, one of the driest and coldest places on Earth, a shocking splash of color bleeds from the tongue of the Taylor Glacier. This is Blood Falls, a 5-story high outflow of deep red water that stains the ice and snow, a sight both macabre and mesmerizing. For years, scientists believed the color came from algae, but the truth is far more ancient and extraordinary. It is a story of a world trapped in time. Beneath the glacier lies a subglacial lake, a body of water that has been sealed off from light and air for nearly 2 million years. This trapped water is incredibly salty, and crucially, extremely rich in iron, which it has leached from the bedrock below. When this water occasionally finds a fissure and seeps out to the surface, the iron-rich brine finally comes into contact with oxygen for the first time. It instantly oxidizes, it rusts, staining the water the dramatic blood-red color we see. It is a ghost from a long-lost world, emerging into our own. We have journeyed across the globe, witnessing phenomena that, honestly, defy belief. From the silent sailing stones of Death Valley to the fiery breath of Mount Etna, from the sleeping giants of the deep ocean to the living light in a tropical bay. Each one is a story written by the planet itself, a chapter in the immense and ongoing narrative of natural history. These are not isolated tricks of light or flukes of geology. They are the intricate workings of a complex and deeply interconnected system, a system of which we are all a part. The Earth is a place of unending wonder, constantly creating spectacles of beauty, power, and strangeness. There are still so many secrets hidden in the depths of its oceans, in the heart of its jungles, and beneath its frozen ice caps, waiting to be discovered. These marvels serve as a profound reminder of how much there is still to learn, to explore, and to protect. They challenge our perspective and ignite our curiosity, urging us to look closer at the world around us. The story of our planet is far from over. New wonders are unfolding at this very moment. I am curious, which of these phenomena amazed you the most? A sight that you will carry with you long after this journey has ended. Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you wish to continue exploring the incredible, the unbelievable, and the magnificent, be sure to subscribe and join us for more adventures into the heart of our natural world.